Good afternoon, Antrim County. This is Veterans Voice Podcast with your host, Matt, Brandon, Eric, and our special guest, Scott Herzberg from Charlie Golf 1 at Traverse City. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me out.
Good.
What's going on now?
You made it all the way over to Antrim, huh?
I did. I hunt out here, so it's familiar territory.
Good.
Yeah, he was talking about the shack that he gets to go on his friend's property or whatnot, but you see a whole lot of deer out there.
Yeah.
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 What'd you get last year?
10.
Oh,
No doubt.
there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, no, it was 2 years ago. I take that back. Only one of us came out with one last year. We get up at stupid o'clock, right? Get out in the woods, and my one buddy just sleeps in, and versus is, the night before, whatever it was ailing him, and he just walks up the road, and there's a 10-pointer there. He just pops it, takes care of it, goes back right to bed. The rest of us are sitting out there.
It's the most northern Michigan thing I've ever heard.
Just like, and it's almost like every time. It's like, the guy could step and poop and come out smelling like roses. It's amazing.
Where is that? Can you reveal the?
Yeah, it's down on Skingle Road.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Out in the valley.
down in the valley. Yeah, so
Smart idea.
He's from the area
Okay.
originally, so
No.
yeah, so he inherited from, or his father-in-law had this. That's a shack. It's literally a cinder block,
Mm-hmm.
walls, concrete slab, roof, no rainwater, no electricity. Maybe you have cell phone coverage, maybe you don't. And
Yeah, it's a little
there's
dicey out in the valley.
Yeah, there's 130 some acres, and there's swamps
Nice.
and high land, and you name it. And he inherited it, and we've been going out there for, I don't know, 10, 12 years now.
Now, do you experience the same luck that he does?
No.
That's too funny.
I'm blessed in many ways, but I don't have
Just along for the experience.
yeah. So no, I've had my fair share of success out there. More than anything, it's the camaraderie.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But it's definitely roughing it, and that's cool.
definitely.
Yeah.
So for those people who don't know, I met Scott back when I was going through NMC. You're the veteran liaison at that point.
Yeah.
And stuff. Good few years. Definitely guided me through some hardship.
Yeah.
And I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah,
I mean,
well.
that was one of the lowest lows that I've ever been in,
Mhm.
which kind of set me on the path of where I am now.
Right.
And here I am. I got the bachelor's done and attending the master's, and you set me on that track,
Yeah.
and I can't thank you enough.
Well, I may have played a small role, and I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Like we were just talking, that difference you make, and
Yeah.
I certainly was intending to do that. But you're where you're at because of your brother. Make no mistake about that.
Well, I do appreciate it, but
Yeah, well, thank you.
that insight, that support when somebody's in need of it,
Yeah.
there's no words to bring that forth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it kind of leads us into your newest project.
Right.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, so when I was at NMC, and we were fortunate. I mean, we were ranked second in the nation
Yeah.
out of all 2-year, 4-year public-private schools.
Holy crap.
And it was easy to get stuff done though, because nobody told you no. We had great leadership with President Nelson and the board of directors, and they were incredible. And when we introduced this initiative, I'm a big believer that emotion evokes change, right?
Yeah.
And so.
Absolutely.
So we did some things really strategic on the front end to create that emotion, and the college they just hopped on board. So my name was at the front of it, but the success of NMC, and what we were doing for veterans at the time was truly, a campus community-wide initiative. But during that time, and the focus initially was let's help you figure out what the new mission is in life. Navigate the benefits. Get you dialed in and help you, assimilate. We had our own orientation and we had our own veterans lounge, and there was some pretty cool things happening. But throughout those conversations, there's more than just that need. It's getting hooked up with VA benefits, or I need to find affordable housing, and plus. So we kind of became this one-stop shop, if you would. Tried to be all things to all people the best I could, and had some great VA work studies that came alongside, and just leaned on all the relationships that we had in the community. Fast forward, everything with veterans is reactive, right? And if you're in a constant reactive state, the outcomes aren't always that positive.
Right.
And so we looked at with Charlie Golf 1, which is an old military term. It means standing by to assist, right? Which everybody's doing. We wanted to duplicate what we were doing at NMC. We want to be that one-stop shop, that concierge. So if you're a veteran, you're a family of a veteran, it's hard to ask for questions, or it's hard to ask questions sometimes.
Mhm.
So when you do, let's make sure you answer one time. right? And it doesn't mean I'm going to have you call Matt, I'm going to have you call Tim, I'm going to have you call Brandon. No, you're going to call me. I'm going to take care of that legwork. I'm going to connect all the dots, and we're going to make this stuff happen. So it's not overwhelming. So Charlie Golf One is just that. We're standing by to assist in that way. We want to be that one-stop shop, and we want to collaborate with you guys, for instance.
Any veteran organization.
Any veteran organization,
Can
nonprofit,
positively
otherwise. Yeah, I want to make sure
benefit.
that everybody is hitting their intended mark, right? Because it's not about Charlie Golf. Charlie Golf One is the name, right? What we're really talking about is making a difference in veterans' lives and that of their families. So yeah, we want to make sure everybody is on point, everybody's working together so that we're doing the best we can. Second to that, we want to create housing. So we're looking at creating not just a house, like a housing community for veterans and their families. So veterans coming on veterans, spouses coming on spouses, kids can play together, and you do so in a community that's affordable, right? And then we'll have community center on there and so on and so forth. So it's so that's physiological needs. That's the proactive piece, right? Let's give you a safe place. Let's give you an affordable place. Let's give you that foundation, and then we can build upon that. Maybe it's going to school. Maybe it's gainful employment. Maybe it's just getting your benefits, whatever the case may be. So that's the big goal for us, right? We want to be, you don't have to live in that community to get our services, but we want people to reach out for us, to do that. And I'm actually on next Monday, I'm going out to Benzie County. There's a gentleman that says I have 140 acres.
Oh, okay.
Really?
He goes, it's time to shut up or put up.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot for veterans, but I mean, it's a legacy project. There's no doubt about it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? But, and so, yeah, I mean, that's our big thing because we've been doing these galas. We do a big black formal gala, once a year for the past 2 years. We have another one coming up in Traverse City at the Park Place Hotel. It's going to be on October 17th. It's a great, great event. I know, starring you in the video there, brother. I appreciate it. But no, it's, and it's really our capital campaign. And so we've made offers on properties, but properties in northern Michigan, especially in Traverse City, will just come and pay cash, and it comes, just gets swept from underneath us. So that's delayed our ability to acquire that property, but we already have a bunch of organizations and contractors and stuff we're like, you guys build this, we're in. And
Now, is this
That's awesome.
transitional? Is this meant to be permanent housing?
Yeah, great question. So it's definitely more transitional. It's kind of like, we're going to give you this place for 5 years. I mean, you're going to pay rent,
Sure.
right? You're going to pay rent. It's going to be affordable. We're going to continue to own this property, right?
Okay.
So you're essentially leasing it or renting it from us.
Sure.
Portion of what you pay is going to go to an escrow account. So after that time, you'll have some money that can then go ahead and put towards, something more permanent. But during that 5 years, you build your community, right?
Yep.
You have your people, right? And hopefully during that time, if whatever our other needs the veterans have had, we've been able to address those as well. And then that leaves that revolving door, right? But if we go with this 140 acres, that can get a lot of houses. Now we're going to put them all up in one time. No, right?
Right.
It's got to be staged. Yeah,
100%. But we want to have a community center on there. We want a playground. We want a pavilion. We want people to come out and, and grill together. We don't want everybody to be recluse and stuff like that. But
That's cool.
yeah, and it's so, and I figure, if we can do this in our region, you can do it in Grand Rapids or Detroit or wherever, right? So
Now think about it. Like, honestly, when's the most dangerous portion of a veteran's life? Is that transition.
Big time.
You get out of the military, you've lost your identity.
Yep.
And now you have to find a whole new way to support yourself or even your family, depending on the person's situation.
Yeah.
Not without, and it's sad to say, a lot of veterans coming out of the service do not have a skill set to fall back on.
Sure.
Maybe 8 times out of 10, right? They're moving back to an area that they may have lived before, but guess what? Those connections are no longer necessarily there all the time, right? So that's the most dangerous portion right there, when vets can, just feel like they are left aside or falling through the cracks and everything like that, and they don't know where to begin. Like you said, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So to have a place like that, will help smooth that burden, that
100%.
transition.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, having the liaisons or having the people there to be able to connect them directly to, it's not like you're seeing a vet on the street or anything like that and saying, here, give this number a call.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we're going to make the connection. We're going to
Absolutely.
get you to the services and make sure they're getting back with you as well.
Yeah.
You know, listen, that's a truly positive handoff at that point in time. Think about the effect that'll have on their life.
Oh yeah.
So that's a good mission. I like it.
Yeah, and we know it's right. Who you are going in, who you are coming out, could be two different people.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
And you had that sense of purpose. You had that sense of belonging, which is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, and like you said, you have to rediscover that. And it's great that we have all these wonderful resources and organizations, but if you have too many choices, it's overwhelming. Where do you go? It's like just throwing a dartboard and hoping it sticks someplace.
Yeah.
And so for us, I mean, that's the big part of it. You know, there's some great nonprofit organizations in this area. I want to make sure that they're hitting their intended mark. We want to make sure that our veterans' needs are met, and so are their families, because that's a big piece of it. It gets overlooked a lot of times, right? And so it's bringing the families along too. And this community, you know, we want to have duplexes. So if you're a single veteran, maybe you don't need a single family home, but if you have a family, you need a home, right?
Right.
And there'll be one level. You know, what I mean, we don't need multi-levels. You know, what I mean, we want to make it so it's a really nice, manageable space and can be navigated. You know, should there be any, you know, disabilities or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's and what's unique about Charlie Golf One too is, you know, a lot of times you hear only a veteran can help a veteran. And when you have shared experiences, there's something to be said about having that understanding, right? But at any given time, less than 1% of our nation's population is in the military. So that means the 1% is coming back to the 99%,
True.
right? So we have to figure that out, right? We have to break down the stereotypes, which I think we've done a pretty good job, but it's just different.
Yeah.
So our board is 50% veteran, 50% civilian, because we believe the two have to work together, right?
Oh.
And so, and it's 501c3 nonprofit. I mean, we buy our own merchandise. I mean, literally, it's just, and we've just grown the board, and we have some incredible board members who are really responsible for bringing this mission forward.
How many board members do you have?
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we just brought in 5 recently.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, time to grow, and our application pool was incredible, and they're just the difference makers, right? People who are passionate and truly want to see this take off.
Yeah.
And that's what we really need, especially nowadays. It's the people that are willing to help fellow veterans, whether they're a veteran or civilian or not. They have to have the heart for it.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of work sometimes trying to figure out somebody's life, but if you got the heart for it, it gets easy. It really does.
I don't remember where I saw this. I won't take credit for it. These are not my words, but I once read that a veteran is somebody who wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America up to including their life.
Mhm.
And we know some people who've cashed that check, right?
Yeah.
But we also know the challenges, right, that can come after that too. So that price is still being paid. So for us, it's always, hey, let's earn a life worth their sacrifice. Right. We are afforded some freedoms in this country that are outstanding. If you're watching the World Cup, people are going, "Oh my gosh, you watch the news. We hate America. You come here, we love this place."
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
Everyone,
See?
you know what I mean? And it is. And we're afforded a lot of luxuries that other countries and nations are not. And we have our veterans, to thank for that. And we can't forget where it came from.
That's the truth.
250 years of independence.
Yeah.
That's a pretty remarkable thing that we've been able to preserve that. But it has, freedom isn't free.
Oh,
Right,
true.
there's
And
been a cost to
continues.
that. Absolutely, 100%, and it's continuing right now, and it will continue to continue this.
Yeah.
So it's important that we start looking at doing things differently, right? Because the definition of insanity is repeatedly doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So if we're always in a reactive state, what can we do that's proactive? Let's give you the physiological stuff, and then we can build off of that. Because if you have a sense of purpose and belonging, guess what? Easier to stick around.
Sure
So
it
true.
is.
So Matt did a little stuping on your website, which is just very well put together. I don't know who you had do that,
They did really good.
but it's a good resource guide. It'll always be evolving, of course.
Yeah, you're talking about the resource page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. But I didn't see. Was there a place on there to donate?
Yeah, there was a donate button, I think.
Mhm.
I believe.
Okay.
Yep.
Now your fundraising and stuff like that, is that primarily through the gala, or do you get outreach or anything like that?
We will shamelessly take any donations
Yeah.
for the betterment of,
Sure.
of our mission, right? And 100% of that will go through. We have one paid. we have one paid employee, and she is our grant writer. She's our administrative person. She's kind of her name is Andy, and she's unbelievable. She way undercharges us for what she does. But she's our grant writer. I mean, she's kind of our acting, executive director in a lot of ways, and she's unbelievable. Aside from that, everything is going towards the mission. But you need that person, right?
Absolutely.
So the Gala is big. I mean, we're accepting donations. The Traverse City Horse Show just donated a VIP package for 2027. Park West Gallery, who's really well known. I mean, they just did a $2,500 speaker sponsor for us. So this is the time where we're going out and saying, hey, listen, if you're looking to you want to be a part of this legacy, come aboard. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We give you all the tax documentations for those purposes. If you have land and it's something that you want to, have considered for this really incredible community, we're open to those discussions and any other donation items. Because we do, the Gala is a video, and it's very patriotic, and there's a DJ, so there's a fun piece of it.
Sure.
But it's, it's black tie, it's formal, and we're right now you can buy those tickets. Our tables are selling pretty quick, but you can sponsor a table and just say, hey, you know what, I want to sponsor a table and send some veterans and their wives there for a really good night. There's a lot of different options to donate, but we have a silent auction. We have a live auctioneer coming in. He's one of the top auctioneers in the nation, and the guy's just, rattling off stuff. We had red stag hunts out, and like Brazil was donated, and
Wow.
fishing expeditions in Alaska and some other really cool stuff. So yeah, we're always open to donations and knowing that whatever money we raise is going to go towards this mission completion.
That's awesome. Now, how in the world do you find all these, different donations and stuff? My gosh, that's
Well,
that sounds pretty nice.
I won't take any credit for that. We've got a number of staff. I mean, they literally go down and knock on doors, or they know somebody who knows somebody. They're not afraid to ask because they know
Good.
it's important, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And none of it happens. You can ask a question, but somebody has to say yes, right? Somebody has to respond. And
Sure.
there's been a lot of people who love their veterans and who are willing to donate, whatever they can. I mean, $20 is $20.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, it's not so much how much you donate is the fact that, you want to get behind this in some way, shape, or form. And we tell people too, I mean, again, Charlie Golf One is standing by to assist. Maybe you don't have the means or the interest in doing that, but when the time comes, maybe you're a master gardener.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a landscaper. Maybe you have some skill sets that you can bring to that community as we develop, and that'll save money, give you a sense of purpose, contribute to it, right? So it doesn't have to just be things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It can
Always
be whatever
other-
talents.
Always other ways to pitch in.
100%.
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet because we don't have the property,
Sure.
but God willing.
So
We'll
this
soon.
is a big event,
Mhm.
and it is arguably the biggest thing that you do. Are there other things throughout the year that you all do?
This is the biggest one. This is our primary. It takes up a lot of time and
Sure.
resources in order to pull it off.
Gotcha.
We've done some golf outings in the past, but we're hesitant to do it. We started doing it, and then we find out some other organizations are doing golf outings, and right, so we don't want to step on those toes. We
Yeah.
want to be respectful of that. Now, a lot of people are looking for a lot of opportunities to golf, so you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, probably not, but we try to not duplicate
Yeah.
what other people are doing out of respect for their efforts. But we've done some golf outings. We've had some other events early on in the years to raise some money, but really the Gala is the big one for us.
Yeah.
And we have one of our board members is over the Pit Spitters, and that organization is incredible.
Mhm.
And so we brainstorm. Is there a concert or something kind of cool we can bring into to the stadium over there and partner with them, and what I mean. So we're looking at some different possibilities, regarding that. But right now the focus is the Gala, just because it takes a lot to pull off. And
Sure.
our vice president Liz Belt, she's a combat veteran. She's has a committee and she really gets all the credit for what we're doing with that Gala. But our board really steps up and does that, and I really appreciate them, because it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for their love and passion.
That's awesome. Now, how do you advertise it? Is it just word of mouth, or?
I mean, certainly word of mouth. We have some posters around. We're getting some posters we're going to put up, but we have a contact list. So we're like, all right, everybody come here with 20 names of people that you feel like would want to come to this. and we just get invitations and we mail them out. And then anybody who's come in years past, we have that whole database. So when the time comes, we just email it out.
Okay.
And then
But
if we're
it's
on the
only
radio, yeah, anybody can come. And as long as there are tickets, anybody can come.
All right. How many tickets have you sold so far?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Yeah, no. I know our last conversation, I think there was like, I'm trying to think, I think there was like 9 or 10 tables that were spoken for. So there's 8 people at the table.
Okay. And how many tables do you guys have?
So it's a new space.
Okay.
So we've done it. We did it at the resort the past 2 years, but it was, how do you get there, right? And there's 5 other weddings going on, and it was just and then I mean we had Humvees in there. I mean there was hundreds, 300-400 people in there, right? And this one's going to be a little bit more intimate because the park place is smaller, but it's a better location. That staff there is just unequivocally motivated to make sure that it's a great event. We're the only event, so it's
nice, easy to find.
it is, yeah. So
How many years does this make?
this would be our third.
So the third annual.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just probably going to grow year over year.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to, for us, it's quality over
For sure.
quantity,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you get too many people in there, it just gets maybe a little overwhelming, and we found it kind of misses its mark a little bit. But but we want it to be intimate. We want people to feel connected. We want people to have a good time. So there's that patriotic piece, and sharing what we do and making sure everybody there understands our mission. But more than anything, it's just a celebration of veterans, an opportunity to make an impact and have a little fun and make a great day night out of it for sure.
Nice.
Sounds fun.
So the flyer,
Yeah.
right? You can send us a copy of it. We'll get it out.
100%. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah.
We'll get that out there. Help support it for sure. Matt, you're awfully quiet over there.
I'm the podcast guy. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it, by the way.
So you don't just do the Charlie Golf one either. You've been involved in the veteran community for quite some time.
Yeah. I mean, it really started with NMC.
Yeah.
I mean, they're creating this creating this office, and it ended up being pretty successful, and it kind of grew from there. So yeah, but I also, I do a lot with Mid-Michigan Honor Flight, and I've been the guardian for them. That's a great organization. Talk about a really cool experience.
And the impact that they've had on.
Oh my goodness!
I haven't heard one bad story
Not
come
one.
from any vet that's gone on that.
My father-in-law's a Vietnam. He was airborne, so, and he vowed after he came back from Nam he'd never go on a plane again. He missed his second oldest daughter's wedding down in Dominican Republic because being on a plane was just inconceivable,
Yeah.
right? So one day I'm like, Ski, I really think you should consider going on this honor flight. I don't know what you feel, but if you want to go, I'm 100% in. I will be your guardian. We'll go. No, he said, I'm good. You're circling back around. He's like, I think I want to go. So got on the horn, went, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. When he's at, particularly at the Vietnam Wall, right?
Oh, yeah.
And as a generation that was spit on, right? We've done a much better job of taking care of our veterans, and there's certainly more we can do. But that generation, oh my goodness,
That still hurts.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? and to go there, and they have all these docents and stuff who can etch names for you, and they'll help you find your people. But just sitting there, and then all of a sudden these men who've been through God knows what, right? Just embrace, and they break down, and it's powerful. I mean, it brought me to tears. It was moving. It was wonderful. And
Good
it
therapy.
was, oh my gosh. And then I think the most special part, and I'm going to ruin it for anybody who's who hasn't gone there going to, but you can sure in the heck look forward to it. You land back into Traverse City. This is where we departed and came back to. They stopped and said, "Gentlemen, you weren't afforded the welcome home you deserve. Let us give it to you."
Oh yeah.
So they come down through the gates, where the TSA is, and there were hundreds of people and American flags and signs, "Welcome home," and shake. Dude, I'm holding back. I mean, it was holy.
Come on,
I am telling you, I'm like, oh my goodness. And these guys are just like, and women, you know what I mean? I mean, like, it was just like, oh my goodness. And just, they smiled and they cried, and then they did a mail call, and all the family members wrote letters to them, right? And they stand up, like they would a mail call when they go up there, and it's wonderful. I mean, I was so inspired by it. There's a game between Traverse City Central's hockey team and the Bay Reps.
Mhm.
So it's a co-op team locally, and they do a Veterans Cup. And so I started getting involved with that too, because I thought, how cool, because I did the TC Patriot game for a long time. Yeah, Tim Werr, that was his brainstorm back in the day when he was coaching in Traverse City West, and it just kind of fell in my lap to take it and build it. And this wonderful human being by the name of Mike Kent, he helped me, and we formed a board, and the TC Patriot game became this really big thing. Around COVID, we turned it over. It was getting a little bit too big. TCAP's, the health of the players and everything else in there needed to find a better balance, which we respected. So we're like, well, you guys can just take it over. You can have all the naming rights and everything that comes with it. But, here's everything we did, do what you will with it. One of the things I always wanted to do was have special jerseys with a veteran's last name on the back.
Oh, nice.
That'd be cool.
At the end of the game, take off the jersey, you give it to the veteran.
That's
right?
cool.
Again, not my idea. Allen Park football team did it downstate. I'm all about shamelessly stealing other people's good ideas for the benefit of
It's actually called benchmarking.
Yeah. So they didn't care to do it, which again, they had valid reasons for it.
Sure.
But the hockey teams, my son was playing for Traverse City Central. I said, hey, how'd you guys like to do this? And like, oh my gosh, yes. So now we do that. They get to choose their own veteran if they don't want to be assigned to them.
Yeah.
We sell them. It's $150 to sponsor this jersey. All those proceeds go to the Mid-Michigan Honor Flight.
Nice.
And again, the kids go out there and they play, and then again at the end of the game they give that jersey, and there's a photo opportunity. And so yeah, I've had my hand in a number of things, and again, it's that earning the sacrifice and just that taking care of looking out for veterans. So
now you yourself never served, right?
no.
What brought you into that? Like,
It could have fooled me.
how did you become so passionate that you've done all this?
Both of my grandfathers are World War II veterans.
Yeah.
Okay. My dad was a Navy corpsman, and my dad wasn't around a whole lot, so I was really kind of raised by my paternal grandfather, and of course, shell shock is what they called it back then, right? But he sat me down one time and he's like, listen, he said, I've served a lifetime for our family. I want you to promise me, because I was going to go in the military. I had a whole route. I'd been with Navy recruiters. I was, looking to go SF, back then before people were talking about SEALs and special forces and that kind of stuff. And he sat me down and he's like, listen, because nobody in our family's had a college education. I've served a lifetime. I want you to promise me you will not join the military, and that you'll be the first person to get a college education. I love this man. That's with all my heart.
I can see why.
And so I'm like, okay. And that's what I did. But I grew up around it, right? And I had friends in high school that, went over to Desert Storm and didn't come back and other stuff. And it was just that earning that piece. Like, there was a piece of me that always wanted to do it. There's a part of me now that regrets it. You know what I mean? But I can't control that. What I can't control is what I do for veterans now going forward.
True.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
it's definitely been a passion, and not once have you stopped. There's been plenty of opportunities, just like you said with the Patriot game, it got too big, handed over.
Yep.
I mean, that journey could have stopped right there, but no, you kept going, kept pushing, so it's definitely noticeable, within the community. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. It's not about me,
Well, no, but it's still bringing attention to that community, bringing, benefits and awareness. That's a huge piece.
Yeah. No, again, it's just, I don't know. I mean, you got to take care of those that take care of you.
So true.
You know what I mean? And I don't, I talk with my kids all the time, there's certain mantras, it's never wrong to do the right thing, and greatness isn't given, it's earned, the dad stuff, right? But I always tell them, like, you only have so much physical, mental, and emotional energy. We can give it to you.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to please everybody all the time. You know what I mean? A lot of people are just going to make up their minds one way or the other, right? So I just focus on that circle, right? If you're in a circle, I'll do anything for you. Outside of that, I'll treat you well, I'll be respectful, that kind of stuff, but I don't really get bogged down on that. But my passion piece is veterans, and that's where that circle expands. So, I mean, knowing that I can maybe make a difference for somebody in any way, shape, or form means a lot to me. If it's a veteran, I don't know. It's just something that's, I don't know.
It's amazing, having that piece in your life. It's unfortunate that, like you said, the 1% that have served come back to the 99% who's never, they have to intermix with that population.
Yeah.
And that population, unfortunately, do not understand the struggles and the trials that they have,
Right.
The veterans have going on, unless it's something that has, personally, they've had contact personally
Right.
with, whether it's through a family member, a friend, or marriage, or however.
Right.
It's never on that general populace's mind that we have people out in war and this is what they're going to face. Care packages or means the world to them and stuff like
Right.
that. So to see how that's affected you and how you've gathered that and moved it forward to different programs to be able to bring it to the forefront and to be able to benefit the vets and stuff like that. And like we talked about before, think about it, how it was when y'all came out of the military.
Too.
Right? That transition period.
Was it 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
If?
Try a little bit more. I mean,
No, I'm talking about like this is your transition class.
Oh yeah,
taps.
no, the taps.
Yeah, and it's a joke. I mean, I didn't experience clearly, but talking to all you guys, I'm like, why bother?
Yeah,
Or
that's
why don't
so
you
true.
get get a civilian to come in there and who can identify with the veterans and come up with a program that actually makes some sense,
Mhm.
Yeah,
right?
and it's unfortunate because the taps in every base is different.
Sure.
Right? It's up to that commanding general how it runs. That program. When I got out in Jackson, it was only a week long, and it's just to check the box.
Yeah.
That was mine too.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Get through CIF.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you can get through CIF.
and then you process out, and then like you said, you lose that purpose, you lose that identity. You're going into a whole new area.
And you're carrying with you whatever you're carrying.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And that's gonna, based on experience, right, can be a little bit more greater or more difficult for others, right?
Yeah.
And so even if it was the best week transitional course, a week's not gonna set the ship right.
Takes months.
It does. And well, even at that, it takes years.
Yeah.
To get yourself in a stable environment and footing, and then so that transitional housing that you were mentioning, where you're going to give them up to that 5-year period, and this is all still in the works as we're speaking, and everything like that. That's going to help out immensely. It takes that load off the vet and gives them a chance to integrate in a healthy way.
Absolutely.
Back into everything.
And we called it Habitat for Humanity because they do the veterans build.
Yep.
And I'm like, same thing, what do you guys do? And they're like, hand it right over. So that's going to be our application process. It's the same thing as that, right? Honorable discharge. I mean, there's going to be boxes to be checked, but
Sure.
And we are going to have, and we've got a number of our board members, our veterans are like, we want to be the people that are sitting down and vetting, if you will, and the applicants and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting the money. I mean, we can take a phone call and respond to an email now. We're ready to go, right? We can start that concierge piece. And again, you don't have to live in this community to lean on those resources, right? We're just going to be that conduit. Getting the housing piece, that's where this money's coming from, right? That's where the Gala's raising. That's where the donations are going, right? Once we get that, now we have the game changers. Now we have something that nobody else is doing. And that's really our focus, right? We're not looking to provide camaraderie, though it'll happen in that community. We're not in a position like Veterans in Crisis does an outstanding job of providing emergency funds, right? That's not what we do. We're doing the housing piece, the community piece, and then that concierge piece, right? Because we have the capacity and the people that are willing to connect the dots and get people connected and call those with the answers and do that handoff but real intentional, not just here you go.
Right.
If it works out with the property in Benzie County,
Mhm.
where geographically, what would be like the next biggest city? Like,
So Jason Allen, he's been a great,
It's a good guy.
unbelievable. He's been a great resource. And one of the things he's talked about is it's really important to have this community as close to the resources as possible, make it to get to your job, all that kind. I agree 100%. It is so hard to get a place near Traverse City.
sure.
It just, short of, somebody with a huge heart for veterans and the means to do so would have to donate or just, donate the land or give just an astronomical amount of funds for it because they are very pricey.
Yeah.
So that's, the ideal. We've looked at Kingsley, and that was on a property that someone came and we've worked with townships. We're like, we want to do this. And they're like 100%. We're in. We want this in our township. We'll help you find grants. We'll do this. I mean, zoning, because it's going to be mixed usage, right? We want our community center on there.
Yep.
We want to have some duplexes, and we want to have some single family homes. And so in Kingsley and East Bay Township, those two, they were home. It was amazing, and it didn't work out. So Benzie, they're within 25 miles. There's Traverse City and Benzonia and Frankfurt and so on and so forth. So, I don't know if that's going to be the piece, but there's a gentleman who's certainly willing to work with us on this. So we're going to go check it out on Monday, and we'll see where it falls.
You gotta start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just sitting here and waiting for the best, price or picture perfect situation. It just never happens. You gotta create that.
Absolutely, and that's what we're doing, and that's thanks to Cartman. He's a radio personality, and we were he had us on, and we're just talking about the Gala. We're talking about Charlie Golf One, and we talk about this is what we're looking to do, and this guy calls up and he's just like, all right, and he has a heart for veterans. He's done a lot out in Benzie County. He really has, and he's just like, but this is something that could be like in that legacy project. This is something that I can, that have my property do something like this for veterans that's going to have a lasting impression and impact, that ripple effect, well beyond his lifetime, and to know that, he gets to give back. I mean, that's his motivation. So we're going to go meet this guy, and his wife's all on board, and so we'll see. I mean, it's exciting.
Keep us informed
100%,
on this as it continues, and we'll keep pushing it out there on our social media too to help out any way we can. Get the word for sure.
No, I appreciate that. But yeah, we'd love to have people come in for the gala. It's a fun time. It really is.
Yeah, and that they can buy tickets online, right?
They can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole sponsorship package if you want to do something like that. If you want to donate items, there's all sorts of info at charliegolf1.org is the way to go. We'll call you. We have some phone numbers listed on the site as well. But yeah.
We'll definitely attach the website to this podcast as well. And when we get the flyer, we'll publish that, post that out there on our social media as well. Yeah. The papers around here are pretty nice to work with as well.
Yeah.
So we can kind of get it out there any way we can. We'll help out for sure.
Yeah, and I want to take this opportunity to let you guys know how much I respect what you're doing, because I know VA offices a lot of times just deal with VA issues. Where you guys, I know you don't turn anybody away. You're being that concierge, right? Yeah, it takes more time, for you to do that. But I love how you guys understand that, hey, this is what we need to do, and what you need to do isn't always in that box, right? You need to step outside the box, but you do it with integrity, right? So it's not one of those things where you're breaking the rules per se. It's just you care enough to go above and beyond, and and innovations like podcasts and reaching out to veterans and finding clever and creative ways of doing that, different ways of doing that. Bring the faces with the voices and the office and stuff. I really appreciate and commend and respect it. And I'm not surprised knowing you as long as I have, and talking with Matt, certainly resounded that passion to do a difference. And I know you wouldn't be part of this office if you weren't drinking that Kool-Aid, right?
Absolutely.
Well, definitely appreciate that, and it is it's true. Like honestly, the VA county VA offices You know, we should be the hub for resources, no matter what. You know, even though we may be specializing in veteran benefits,
Yeah.
regardless, we need to take the whole picture for a veteran in order to have to be able to assist them correctly.
Yeah.
You know, just like Charlie Golf One.
Yeah.
Right. And get them to the resources. If we don't know it, we're going to freaking find it.
Absolutely.
Positive handoff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just, oh, here's a number. Go check it out.
Somebody-
Call the number.
Absolutely. Yeah. Somebody's got to lead the charge,
Yeah.
right? Someone's got to lead from the front,
Exactly.
you know, and if you're going to be that person, you need to do it right. And there can't be limitations to it. I mean,
Well,
ethically, right. And with integrity, of
Mhm.
course, but you know, I mean,
and
it's,
it's unfortunate because like it happens so often that, you know, veterans get the bad taste for VA, you know, through one experience,
Mhm.
you know, and we strive not to have that happen. It
Sure.
happens unfortunately through, you know, many different means and stuff like that. But if you can just take that extra 10 seconds,
Yep.
talk to them.
Mhm.
What is it that they need? Well, how can we help them? You know, cue in on stuff that they say and then try to
absolutely.
go that extra mile.
And the VA is an overwhelmed system,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's an old system, right? So yeah, so there are those delays and things don't always happen the way you want to. Is that a reflection of your efforts? Absolutely not. But while we're waiting, we can hurry up and wait for it, right?
Yeah.
You know, what else can we do? You know, in the meantime, and
Here's some resources. Let's get you to them.
yeah,
Exactly.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well, other than, you know, being a Green Bay Packers fan,
What?
definitely,
go Pack,
I
go
know,
baby.
right?
Hold
Love
on
the
a
Pack.
minute.
Yes,
you know,
I'm kind of a Packers fan. It's my
Come on.
family.
that's why y'all over there, okay?
Man,
Y'all keep that Navy stuff over there.
I was feeling so good about that.
All right. Who's your team?
The Lions.
No, nobody's perfect. That's
That's right.
That's
At
why
least you're
y'all
not a
said
Bears
that.
fan.
We,
No.
we had
Of course, now anybody who's like a Lions or Bears fan, like I'm not supporting Charlie Golf One's, you know, he's a Packers fan. No way.
we had a perfect season.
Yeah, 0-16.
Yeah,
we were
I was gonna say,
0-16.
that was way
Yeah.
back when.
I was at that game at Lambeau, part of the 0-16
Yeah.
chant.
That's
Sorry,
awesome.
boys.
Well, you know,
But they turned it around.
Yeah, they have. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We just gotta get Chicago out that number one seed.
Yeah, good luck.
yeah, I don't know.
They got talent, but Detroit still got that talent too.
This is how I know I'm a nerd because I don't know what you all are talking about, to be honest with you.
This could be,
I don't play sports.
this could be the second hour of the podcast.
Yeah. the fat four I got.
Who's your
Possibly the
NFL
third.
pick?
Right. But
Yeah.
no, I gotta say, you know, thank you for everything,
Yeah.
and thanks for coming in here, and thanks for, you know, dedicating your passion to our vets.
Well,
You know,
like I said, it's earning living a life worth the sacrifice. But it's way bigger than me, right? I have an incredible board of directors who, you know, are really making this happen. They get more credit than I do. You know, I mean, truly. And there's been other people that have served on this board who've gone to different things for different reasons, and they were all part of it. You know, back to NMC. I mean, it was a community. You know what I mean? And there's so many people that I could call back in the day, be like, hey, and they would answer and they would say, yeah. So it you know, yeah, my name's attached to some of that, and I'm grateful, you know, to be a part of that and maybe be a catalyst in some way, shape, or form. But more than anything, it's just a reflection of the other people out there. And you know, Charlie Golf One is going to be successful not because of Scott Herzberg. Charlie Golf One is going to be because of people who want to make a difference, right? Because we all stand by to assist. And if this is something that you feel good about, let's figure out how you can do that and contribute to it. To answer your question, because I don't always know the answers up front. And again, I have support the Gala, but I don't do a lot with it. 300 is the max for this year.
okay.
Yeah. So, and I know we're selling tables. You know what I mean? So
But we'll push that. So you can get more
When
people
it's
filling
in
them.
October.
October 17th.
October.
Yeah, be the Park Place Hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good location too. That ballroom that they have there is really nice, and it's not like Grand Traverse where it's this big open thing.
Right.
It's a lot more. Yeah, it's calmer, like you were saying. It's more intimate and stuff. So
It
I think
is.
that's a good place.
Yeah,
to do it.
and I think it might feel a little bit more enclosed. You know what I mean? Because it's not so vast. You know, but it's the right move for a lot of different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
And we're excited about it. And so there's a cocktail hour, of course, and there'll be, you know, some past and stationary appetizers, and you know, it'll be a cash bar. But you know, the food's all included in the ticket price.
Oh wow.
And there'll be silent auction items, you know, so you could maybe walk away with some good deals on some stuff, knowing it's going to go towards a good cause. in the live auction. But it's you know, we go to Captain's Quarters, who sponsored one year and hooked us up with tuxes, or Men's Warehouse. You know, for me, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, but I do it, and my wife enjoys the night, and it is, and it's camaraderie and it's fun. I mean, dance, don't dance, you know, drink Mountain Dew, you know, whatever you want to do, but it's a pretty special event, and it's a way to celebrate, you know, celebrate and honor veterans and make a difference in the process.
Now the Captain's Quarters, isn't that's Jason Allen's?
It is, yeah.
Business? Yeah. That's actually, I was thinking about this whole gala thing, and I don't have a tuxedo. Well, the one I have is my wedding one, and I can't fit in it anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm like, who do I know that has tuxes? And then you said Jason Allen. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
should have known. So I have to talk to him, I guess. It's been a hot minute, but
And that's the reason why I rent mine too, because, you know, up and who knows, what fits one year won't fit the next. So.
middle-aged blues, baby.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me. So.
And yeah, look forward to seeing that flyer and getting it out and supporting you any way we can.
Appreciate it.
No, and just before we get off here, I just want to let everybody know tomorrow at, I think it's 2:00 is the start of it. The Alden Day Parade is going to be happening, so me and Eric will be out there with the band. So if you see us, stop us, say hi or whatever, and we'll be out this weekend. So
Not during the parade.
Yeah, don't
just jump on
just
the
jump
van.
right. I'll keep the doors wide
Get their
open. Come on
attention.
in. I got some candy. But yeah, well, thanks for stopping by, Scott.
I appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
And,
what you do.
Antrim County, we will see you next week.